All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the December Daniel Webster Council Camp Directors Chat. This evening, we have a full panel and full list of topics we want to cover and make sure that everyone's questions get answered. My name is John Grace. I'm the General Manager of the camping operations here in Daniel Webster Council. This evening, I also have camp leadership from Griswold Scout Reservation, Adam Shakely, the program director, Scott Rodrigue, director of RSS, and our brand new camp director for Griswold, Andy Aldis. So we are excited to really dig in with this leadership team at both camps that we have everyone ready to go. And before we get started with the breakout rooms, we want to ask again everyone that's come in here in the past couple of minutes to make sure that they put either CC or GSR next to their name, so we know what breakout room to put you in. As you guys figure that out, first thing I wanted to cover from just the council side of things, we have a couple of things that are changing here coming January 1 in term for scouting. The big thing is that there's going to be changes to YPT buddy pairs. There's national BSA literature on that, and there'll be their explainer coming out shortly if it hasn't already been distributed. But our December newsletters for both camps come up a third week. We just had to move this one up a little bit because of Christmas for the camp directors chat. We will be getting a better explainer for YPT buddy pairs, bunk bed railings, general rebranding, stuff like that, just to cover all the bases there for more high level camping operations. Another thing we want to cover is the American Camping Association is a accreditation that we worked really hard to earn, and we look to maintain that. So we are 5 years into it. We are now set for reaccreditation, and we've done everything that they've asked of us so far, and we're looking forward to working with them going forward. So expect more information about our relationship with the American Camping Association as we continue that relationship. Let's see what else. We have camp staff applications and CIT applications going to be coming out here soon. We understand that Scout leaders, so you guys are one of the biggest advocates for camp in general, but we also look for future camp staffers as well. So if you have scouts that you would want to put forward or recommend, let them know that a camp staff application will be out soon. Dates for interviews that will be coming out with the leadership of both camps here, probably starting in January, mid-January here after the holidays. So that's all I really have, Phil. If everything you want to cover, I'm happy to give it to you.
Yeah, thanks, John. Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome Andy to the team. Andy's going to replace Drew Rudlewski as the camp director at GSR, and he comes to us with a lot of experience. So, if you get a chance to welcome Andy, I encourage you to do so. We're pretty excited to have him as part of the staff and as part of the leadership team at GSR. So the other thing I want to mention is we all know how important summer camp attendance is to keeping kids in scouts, and we're all about trying to keep kids in scouts. So we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to get to camp this summer. And in the past couple of years, we have not done a real great job at getting out and doing camp promotions. As people have requested them, we have done a real good job at meeting those requests for the most part. But I want to just encourage every unit to get in touch with us. John will schedule up a time for part of our camp team to come to your unit and talk about what's new, how you do things, and get kids excited about attending camp. So if you want a camp promotion, just please let us know, and we will make that happen for you. Again, we want kids to get to summer camp because it's pretty important as part of their overall scout experience. So it's a great way to spend a week, as everybody on this call knows. So if we can help you out in that regard, we are happy to do so. There is a lot of information on the website. I encourage you to go there. And then if you have any other questions about the administrative stuff, our team is in the background ready to help you. So just get in touch with us. And that's all I have for you tonight. We'll break out into the rooms here in just a second as soon as John has assigned everybody the appropriate room. And unfortunately, Kristen was going to be with us tonight from Camp Carpenter. Joe was not going to be able to make it. He had a school obligation, but Kristen was here, and she 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes before we let everybody into the room, she had to excuse herself. Her daughter had a little health incident that she had to go take care of, so she won't be here, but John will fill in on the Camp Carpenter side tonight. So that's all I have, John.
Fantastic, great. So yeah, currently I have 7 carpenter leaders. I have, if I didn't say your name, please let me know before I send everyone over there. I have Bob Stiff, Chris Wolford, Steve Bessie, Jessica Dane, Kate Osgood, Kelly Wood, and Nathan Wood. Is there anyone else that I did not say that's looking to go to Camp Carpenter's breakout room? Okay, awesome. So, Bill, like I said, if you get any stragglers, please send them our way.
We'll get them
We
over
should
there
have
to the appropriate place. Yep.
absolutely. Make sure that the recording is still going. I'll click record when I break out into the breakout room, so we can get the whole session this month. We'll figure it out.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. Good luck, guys.
All right, we'll just give them a second. I think everybody just went. So, Andy, I'm going to turn it over to you, and they're all yours. Between you and Adam and Scott, I think we can get all the questions answered for GSR. So, Andy, you're up.
All righty. So first off, hello, my name's Andy. Andy Aldis. I know there's a lot of Andys involved in this council and in camp. So I'm another to the list, but hopefully soon enough I'll be you'll know me. Hopefully I'll get a chance to meet all of you as well. I guess hopefully you've all read the bio thing, but a very short introduction of myself is I've been a lifelong scouter since I was a kid, and I'm in my 50s now, and so it's I've been in for a little while, not as long as some, but in that time, I've put in 20 different summers as a camp staffer. Um, so I have a pretty good breadth of experience there. A lot of different area director positions, as well as being a program director for 12 years at a regular scout camp and 1 year as at a high adventure base and 2 years as camp director. And at the also in that same giant spread of time, I was also a scoutmaster of the troop I grew up in for 30 years before retiring there to become a den leader for my son. So that's why I'm a little out of the GSR loop in that I went to Camp Carpenter for 3 years. Was really my first experience to summer camping in Daniel Webster, and the last 2 summers I was a assistant scoutmaster with Troop 75 in Bow. So that's where if you've seen my face recently, it's with 75 in Bow. Um, Professionally, I work in the theater industry. I work at the Capitol Center for the Arts the rest of the year. And because it is a seasonal position with them, is what leaves me free to work at camp in the summer, which I couldn't be more thrilled to return to working at summer camp. I think it's the best way to spend your summer is at camp, of course. Um, so that's kind of a little bit about me. Does anybody have any specific questions or concerns for me right off the bat? Doesn't look like it. Looking at the chat to see if I have any hands up or anything like that. I don't see anything on the other page of meeting folk. So good to see everybody. Um, let's see. I know that John did mention that we're looking to have um, staff applications live. And Adam, you can join in. But it looks like this is probably beginning to middle of January. We'll have those will go live. It'll be much similar to previous years, I would assume. It's not a flawed beast that needed any immediate changes, I don't think. We'll probably have at least a means of signifying or having a separate registration form for CIT so that we can review them a little bit better and get them more on the idea of what it's like to be a staff member, which of course starts with applying and having a little bit of an interview. Uh, yeah, so what's next? Do we want to move on to uh dates and so forth, or did you have something you wanted to jump onto, Adam, or do we want to go in the order of the agenda that I have?
You can go right on in for camp dates and NYLT stuff.
All right. Okay, I don't know. Let's see. I go this here.
Carter Lodge will not be open this summer. Still a little charred on the inside.
We're getting closer to the end of that wrangling with the insurance company. So I see the end in sight. I'm not sure at this point when reconstruction will start, but it will not be available, as Adam said, for this summer.
All right. Yep, that is sad, but we'll looking forward to see what'll happen next, I think. All right. Weeks of camp, as far as what I have is, of course, we're starting June 29 is through July 5 is week 1. And if I can get things to remain stable on my screen, July 6th through the 12th is week 2, which will be the same week as NYLT. So it's not the same as week 1 this year. It will be week 2, July 6th through the 12th. Week 3 is the 13th through the 19th. Week 4 is July 20 through 26. Week 5 is 27 through August 2. And let's see, sliding down further on. Week 6 is August 3 through August 9. And week 7 is August 10 through the 16th. And that is the summer. There are 7 camper weeks this year, which I think is information everybody's already aware of. Let's see. Looking through. So I think all our payment stuff, and I'm only barely getting on top of some of this, but I think the dates are things that you should all be pretty familiar with. End of March is when we're looking at deposits and so forth, if I'm reading all of what I have in front of me correctly. Um, and we'll have that information out. We'll have scholarship, the campership information out ahead of time, so we can also get that information in from you. Let's see. That's most of the date stuff that I have on this directly in front of me. So I don't know if I'm missing something that hasn't but gone out yet. Does somebody have do Adam or Phil, do you have any, or Scott, do you have any other calendar updates as far as important camp dates? Things for registration. I'm just seeing those.
I've got a quick question. Others may know this, but why aren't there 8 weeks this year?
I can take that one. Couple of reasons. First and foremost, Drew has been talking for several years now, and I think Scott will understand this too. The way the calendars fall, we've had trouble getting some of our staff into camp for training at the beginning of camp, and then we start losing staff at the end of camp so they can go back to college. That has been a challenge for us on both ends a little bit. The other thing that has happened that kind of we've been wrestling with that. We've wanted to keep 8 weeks, and we've been hanging in there. But the other thing that has happened over the last couple of years too is our attendance has dropped off, and we figured we can solve the first problem with camp staff by taking one of the weeks off. And also that will compress the camp season, and it'll fill camp up a little bit more. We have excess capacity when the camp is not full, and it's always better to have a big crowd than a smaller crowd. So those two components really led us to the decision to take the 7th or the 8th week off this year. And plus the way the calendar fell, every 7 years or so, we have to move the dates of camp. And that first time that we move it, we always, we always run into the beginning and the end problem for staffing. So, so that led us to the conclusion to do that this year. There's nothing really more than that. Well, by the way, most of the camps, we also looked at all of the camps everywhere in the Northeast, and most of them are running 7 weeks, primarily due to those two reasons.
Right on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So speaking of those 7 weeks and the adjustment, my troop actually given me the date for the 5th week. So we registered already for the 5th week, but as it turns out, because of the shift, they actually want the 4th week. So is there a way to change that registration?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
should we just email? How should we do that?
You should be able to just do that right in Blackpug.
Okay, so I can just like change the date
Just
in
change
there.
the dates.
All
Yeah,
right,
change the
perfect.
week
All
you
right.
want. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Somebody has a question on the loyalty program, and I'll field that one. If we did not attend GSR this year, but we did 2023 and we'll be attending 2025, do we qualify for the loyalty rewards? It was only if we attended 23 and 24. I think we qualify once we hit 3 years from what I'm reading. That's a wrong interpretation. What we're trying to do is reward people who consistently come to our camps. So the way it's going to work is if you attended in 23 and 25, that's not 3 years, 3 contiguous years. So you would not qualify this year in 2025 for the loyalty program. But what you will qualify for is what we're referring to as the growth rebate. So if you weren't there in 2024 and you come in 2025, we will pay you the growth rebate on the difference between 0 last year and whatever you bring this year. So it's not like you don't get something. And what we tried to do when we were building these programs is we didn't want to just recognize and reward people, new units who haven't come over the years, and then all of a sudden they start coming. We wanted to make sure that they were thanked for that in terms of a rebate. But a lot of times, like Comcast, they'll run specials for new customers, but they don't take care of their old customers, if anybody has been a victim of that kind of thing. So we wanted to make sure that the customers or the units that really are supporting our camps, we wanted to make sure they're being taken care of too. So that's why it's two separate things. And if you're a unit that does come regularly in 23, 24, 25, you'll benefit from the royalty program plus the growth program if you bring more kids than you did in the previous year. So that's how that works. So no, the answer is no. If you were here in 23 and 25, you would not fall into the loyalty program, but you would fall under the growth rebate program. Hope that answers the question.
I guess so.
Okay.
All right. So moving on to the next on my agenda is NYLT. Do we thought we were going to have somebody on who could speak about NYLT this year other than dates, which is really all I have had time to get up to speed on.
Hi, this is Jane. I can talk about NYLT. I might even be able to start my video here. Hi, welcome, Andy. I look forward to chatting with you about our week at camp during week 2. NYLT registration, thanks to John Arico, is ready to go. And as was mentioned, we are week 2. We want to make sure that we kind of steered clear of 4th of July this year, and that was one of the primary reasons for moving to week 2. The pricing is up. It's $445 this year. And we're looking for units to send their scouts. We're looking for scouts that are going to be in a leadership position in the next year or 2, that are first class scouts, have their scoutmaster recommendation, and then some leadership training at the troop level. We just had our reunion, which was very successful, and we are now looking to take our staff from last year and our participants from last year and build our staff for 2025. There's a link on the council website. If anybody has any particular questions, they can reach out to myself or send a message in through council, and we will get back to you. Just first of all, does anybody have any questions right at the moment?
Can I just make one clarification, Jane? You said the pricing is up. I think she meant the pricing is up and running. It is not up over last year's fee. It's the
Right,
same
correct.
as last year's fee. So
Thank you. It is posted.
Just to clarify, there you go. Just to clarify.
Thank you, Phil.
Yep.
Yep. Scott also serves on NYLT staff, so certainly he'd be able to answer questions as well.
Okay, I don't see any other questions, comments, concerns, input about NYLT. All right, it's highly recommended. Yeah, I think it's a great experience. So Adam, that gets us to you. What do you got for us?
All right, yeah. So as for the program guide, obviously you want to see that before registering all your programs. I'm hoping to have that published by mid-January, hopefully before the next meeting that we have, the camp director chat. I'm going to take the time. We have our staff reunion coming up in about 2 weeks up at GSR for our staff to take a look at the draft program guide they're the ones that are teaching the programs, so I want their feedback before I make the final edits and have that posted. With the program guide, we're going to be offering some new merit badges this summer. We used Blackpug to take a look at what the least signed up merit badge was in each program area, and we're hoping to just rotate those badges out, add something new that we haven't had before. So look forward, and those will be marked very clearly what is new in the program guide. Speaking about merit badges, there is a lot of merit badge requirement changes that are happening effective January 1st, 2025. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to post the link to the scouting website that has those changes. It is a 29-page document of merit badge changes. So if you're a merit badge counselor, I would double check that, and a lot of them very different and a lot of new requirements added to some merit badges. With those changes, we're going to have to wait for Blackpug to update the system after January 1st, so I can go through and make sure that there is no new prerequisites that we have to put out there for the badges. I know I just looked at one earlier, that crime prevention added one that you have to talk to a police officer, but there's a whole bunch more. 29 pages is quite a lot. And once Blackpug gets their system updated, then we can go through the system, get it all set, and then we'll be able to open merit badge registration, hopefully by the end of February is my goal. Trying to think what else. For a new program, so we do want to offer some new programs this summer. One thing that we definitely want to bring back, which we haven't had in quite a few years, is a backpacking Voyager program. What we're looking at offering this summer won't be exactly what it was, prior to COVID when we had the full Valley Voyagers and the White Mountain Voyagers, but more of an introduction to backpacking using the Belknap range that we have access to at GSR, and will be a multi-night backpacking It'll be a week-long program, and they'll have a couple nights where they'll be backpacking throughout the reservation. A big part of that program will be the scouts to basically create what kind of program they want to work on different merit badges and different skills when they're out in the woods. It won't be like a set, this is what you're going to do type program. It's a perfect one for scouts to sit down with the counselor and plan their own trip for the week. And then for adult leaders, we want to come up this summer. Our plan is to have an adult leader passport, similar to the Get Off Your Duff and Do the Right Stuff you might have seen floating around the past few years. We want to take that and update it, make it a little bit better, and try to get just adult leaders involved in program throughout the week, so you guys have some fun as well, instead of sitting around and working from home, which having fun in program is probably better than working. And if we have any questions program-wise, I'd be happy to answer them. And if I could always put my email too in the chat.
Adam, this is Tom Andrew. I'm the Protestant chaplain and chair of the Duty to God Committee. Our committee is pretty keen on trying to reestablish a presence and footprint at GSR. We've seen that decline in recent years as we've disappeared from the Scoutmaster Supper and the interfaith service has been eliminated. And we do have some plans and ideas that we would like to run by you and Andy. I know that the program guide is due out in January, but we're still interested in having a meeting with you because we do have some specific plans or specific suggestions or recommendations regarding a Duty to God Campers Award, reinstitution of an interfaith service, and perhaps other aspects of Duty to God at summer camp. So I will be in touch with both of you, and hopefully we can schedule a meeting.
Yeah,
If
I can. Oh, go ahead.
If I can get one or more other members of the committee to join us, that would be great. But I will be in touch.
Okay, I'll get you our emails, and I would definitely like to bring back the interfaith service that we used to do, either before or after the opening campfire. I think it's something important that hasn't been done in a few years. So, and I think I have something like that in the program guide currently, but we can definitely be in touch if you have ideas.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, looking to see if there's other questions, comments, concerns.
There's a question that came through, Andy, in the Q&A. Jen Purley asked, will Gilbert bathrooms be upgraded? The answer there is yes, but probably not likely to be upgraded by this summer. We're looking at the bathroom situation camp-wide and council-wide. And Gilbert is at the top of the list, as is the Carpenter dining hall as well. The final decision on what that configuration will be at GSR is probably going to hinge on what the final configuration of Carter Lodge will look like too. So rather than doing that piecemeal, we might have an opportunity to do something a little bit different. So we are taking a look at that. It is actively being discussed almost every day. I hear something about it. So we understand we need to do something about the bathrooms across the council. So that is being worked on.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking at, I'm not seeing very many other questions unless my chat thing's not updating.
I wonder, could you speak to the Bell program and whether it's going to be similar to last year?
Yeah, so the Bell program will be pretty much exactly how it was ran last year, with the option of the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday blocks, or you can pick a program for all 5 days, or excuse me, all 4 days. Obviously, there won't be too much day-long program on Friday, but we could probably, if scheduling, or if we have a venture crew that would like to do stuff, we can make things work. We are planning on adding something else to the day-long program. I know I was reached out to by one of the members of the shooting sports committee about a pistol program. So that's something we're going to look into offering this summer.
Great, thank you.
And let's see. Yeah, do we have any other, let's see, contact information for camp promotions? I'm working on getting my email into the comments so that everyone will have that as well.
I think Scott and Adam might know this. Is it camping at the email is camping at nhscouting.org? Is that the general email
I know
address?
they added, I think, GSR support at nhscouting.org
Okay.
is the email that John Grace created for this year to be used.
Yeah, Jessica, or whoever asked that question, I guess Joni, get in touch with any one of us, Adam, Scott, Andy, John, and we'll make sure it happens until we have a specific way to do that. And there's Andy's address right there.
All of you are at dwccamping.org.
Yes, affirmative.
Yeah, myself, Andy, Scott are just first name dot last name.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, and DWC camping, that works too. Somebody asked too if camp promotions are just inside of DWC, or are we able to go to other local councils? It depends. Our staff is mostly Southern New Hampshire centric. If we can get somebody to cross the border, we'd be happy to do that. But reach out and ask the question, and we'll see what we can do for out of state promotions too.
And looks like Judith was unable to maybe get that change made in Black Pug for her week change. And I am not the Black Pug bot guy yet.
Yeah, I would say just send a note to John on that one. John Grace.
Okay.
Somebody's asking about a deposit that needs to be made or just pay the amount in full to register. When you go into Black Pug and register up the troop, it's going to instruct you what to do. So as long as you've registered, you're good. Deposits will be due, is it March 15th or March 30th? That'll be the first time you need to make a payment. Are there any other questions?
Yep. Anything else?
I got two questions. The first question is, we have a scout who's got some severe allergies coming to camp. And his mom was looking to contact someone because she's curious about, I told her that there's dietary restriction lunch available, or breakfast and dinner available. So she was looking to talk to someone because his allergies are long. So she was looking to make sure everything would work for him prior to camp. Is there someone she could talk to about that?
I was the dining hall director last summer, so you could probably direct her to my email and I should be able to answer most of those questions.
Thank you. And my second question was, I sent an email about 2 weeks ago because I was having to change my week as well, and I couldn't find it inside Black Plug. The other issues I got after I sent the email to both GSR and New Hampshire Scouting, I got the auto reply, but no one responded back to it. So I don't know if there's a breakdown somewhere. I know you guys are all volunteers, but I just don't know if it's an issue or you guys are just overloaded.
Randy, did it go through the ticket system or was it just an email that was sent to somebody?
It was an email. I could probably pull up the email to find it, but I got the auto reply back. Like I sent one to New Hampshire Scouting, I sent one to the camp.
It's possible that went into a black hole. My recommendation would be to put it in as a ticket item because then we can track it and we know exactly where it is. So if it doesn't get answered, we know that too, and we look at those every day.
All right.
So
It was the email I sent it to was support@newhampshirescouting.com.
yeah, that might be the black hole, but it's possible.
So
It should be
Um,
support@nhscouting.org.
yeah, what did I say?
I think you said .com, so I just want to make sure.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no. .org.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Motorboating merit badge, as far as what I am being told right now, we are able to offer that. So I'll just say keep out for the program guide for the full details.
that should be back. I agree with Adam.
And let's see, how does it work if adult leaders want to split their week and come for half the week and another leader for the other half? I know that both leaders need to be, registered. We need to have all that information ahead of time. I don't know yet how that affects your troops' adult coverage registration as far as fee structure. That is something I'm still getting caught up on.
Scott, do you know how that registration happens for splitting a week?
I know in Black Pug, when you sign up with your adult leaders, it will work on that. I know we didn't have anything specific last year, but I know this year we were working on that.
In the past 2 years, we've had adult swap, and it's been something Drew's done on the backside. The second leader would just have to bring their paperwork, and they checked in to get the bracelet, but it was something that was handled, as long as there was an email sent beforehand, it wasn't an issue.
That makes perfect sense. And I see no reason to really, make a big change over that. So certainly include me in the email chain, and we'll get that taken care of. Anything else? Any other questions, comments? Oh, let's see.
I got some late breaking answers on that last question too.
Okay.
Black Pug should be able to handle the split this year. That's the plan. So if you want to have 2 leaders, Black Pug should be able to handle that. 2 leaders splitting a week.
JP, are you asking about like merit badges from last year that weren't fully completed, or just like in general
Well,
knowing?
both. Unfortunately, so my unit's been going. At least I've been going with my unit for the last 3 years now, and every year we've ended up with at least one, if not a couple, of scouts who are told by their merit badge counselors that they should be all set, and then by the time I see the information about what the requirements are done, some of them have partials on things they were told they were all set for, right? The most recent example is I've got 2 of my scouts, because we are our first court of honor for this year finally coming up this week, this coming week. And it kind of refreshed my memory that when I first saw the requirements, I saw that 2 of my scouts had a partial in game design. And I know for a fact both of these scouts went back for merit badge makeup on Friday to finish it up the week that we were there. And according to both of them, they were told they were all set. But now I'm also seeing that they're missing, I think, 2 or 3 requirements out of the game design merit badge.
Okay.
Not super worried about it right now, because I mean it's past whatever. I can get another merit badge counselor locally to kind of work with them to finish it up. But it's like when that happens, I try to reach out, but it's usually like, the fall by the time that I'm realizing this is happening. And obviously camp staff is off doing, other things from there. And I've had difficulties trying to contact somebody via email to try to get things figured out.
If you want to email me about anything that was missing from last year, I can try to work through and making sure those scouts get credit for their merit badges that they completed.
Okay.
As it goes, area director should be putting in every single day all the requirements that were done in their programs
Okay.
that day, and that's something I will be on them more about throughout the summer.
Okay. So with Black Pug now, and maybe that might have been possibly part of my fault of not going in and looking early in the summer after we went to camp in the summer last year. But so after we're done with our week at camp, I should be able to go into Black Pug and see the status of all those merit badges.
Yeah, you should be able to. In your registration, there should be like a way to look at reports and get like
Yep.
a report.
Yeah,
of,
I was able
which
I
I'm
was
sure
able to
you've
get in
done.
there and I was able to get in there and pull it at one point. I don't in years past with the older systems, at least it seemed to me anyways, like it wasn't always readily available right away. So I've always just kind of waited and then got into it at the kind of the start of the fall time. But if Black Book handles that, then that's great. I'll make sure I note that I can
Yeah.
get in there later. Thank you.
JP, you should be able to see that daily throughout the week that you're at camp, because the program directors, the area directors do make sure that information is in there. So,
But we're at camp. I thought we're supposed to be disconnected from electronics. No, but
It's up
that's
to
good
you.
to know. Oh no, I know we've had some issues with Black Pug to get started with it, but it seems like a really great system with me. So I love the fact that I should be able to get in there and kind of check on at least after we're done camp, if not even on a daily basis through camp. So that's excellent.
The only time that you would not be able to access that information is if your unit is carrying an unpaid balance. So if that happened, you wouldn't be able to see that information, that advancement information, until the balance is paid off. So just for an FYI.
All right, there's a couple other questions. Yes, there will be, as far as we are planning on having Provo opportunities. Exactly. We haven't even started the staffing process, so exactly what that's going to look like, I can't speak to at the moment. Other than I imagine it would be similar as to previous years. So stay tuned. But the short answer is yes, there'll be something as far as Provo for those scouts that desire that option. It looks like there is questions about shower houses that were also answered. So hopefully that all makes sense. That's as far as individual shower house situation. And there you go. So that looks like the says when units sign up for your week at camp, you're asked if you would be able to host a provost scout. So and that could be a pretty good experience as well. I know some camps have a whole provo unit but also just being able to camp with a troop that operates like a troop is a good experience for a provo to see how a provo camper, to see how another troop operates, and it gives them the opportunity to meet more kids, which is always good. Part of camp is meeting other kids.
Yeah, if we have a large enough group to make it worthwhile for a Provo troop, if you will, or a patrol, we will do that and keep those Provo kids separate. Otherwise, we'll make sure that they are adequately integrated into the camp, and they have a support group to help them out. So we encourage kids to come for more than just a week with their unit, or to come even if their unit isn't coming. We'll make sure it happens for them and give them a great experience.
Certainly at other camps, I've been a part of both having kids be provo in other troops and also have the experience of being a troop leader who's had provo um, kids stay with my unit. And I can tell you it is still a great camp experience for both the provo kid, and it's an enhanced experience for the kids that host them. Because they get to meet somebody. Here they are, they're with their troop, they know the 20 other kids. It's the same kid wins at Uno every time. All of that sort of thing. So to have a new person with a troop for more than just a weekend, it's not just a friend from school going on a recruitment weekend camping trip. It's somebody who's there, who's in scouts, who's interested, and is with them for the whole week. It's an excellent experience, even for the host troop. So that's kind of the sales pitch to say yes in the future to all the Scoutmasters listening, because it is good for everybody.
For accessing Black Pug, when you go to the NH Scouting website to register for camp, it's all right there. You'll make an account, link your BSA ID number, and you'll have access to your troop roster to be able to add your scouts in a lot easier.
Mike, that's a great success story. He's had 2 Provo campers dual register with his troop now, and they attend some of the campouts. So that's what Provo is all about. Building it up, building friendships.
My understanding, the change to the buddy pair rule is January 1, right?
Yeah, I think John Grace knows more about that, and he plans on adding that as a part of the newsletter that will come out.
I'm sorry, but what literally is the change to the buddy pair rule?
I haven't personally seen anything on it yet, so
Oh,
when we
okay.
do, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Alright.
I thought you had misunderstood my question when you said, "Oh,
No,
it's
no,
going
no,
to
I
become
understood your
effective."
question.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it's
I
kind
think
of,
John Grace is the one who knows all about it, and we just haven't had to
oh, okay.
much time to discuss it yet.
All right. I appreciate it very much.
Right. I think it's been loosely described as, that if you have not associated with a girl troop before and are not used to seeing uh scouts from the same unit of mixed gender, then it is something for people who have been in associated troops for years are used to. But effectively, it's making there's no buddies of two if there's mixed genders. Is my understanding, but we look forward to the written explanation from John. He did say he was going to send something out. But that's probably the most important thing for us moving forward at camp when you're walking around and you're looking at other campers walking around. You shouldn't see any boys walking with girls unless there's at least 3 people in that group.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Joni, we never know how the registrations are going to come in. Our weeks look sort of like a bell curve. The early weeks don't fill up quite as fast as the middle weeks. So I don't know when you're planning on coming, but her question is wondering how soon we should be focusing on getting scouts registered before weeks start filling up. I would get the registration started in Black Pug, and that kind of holds your week. We do have caps on the week, on various weeks, so that we can stretch it out and not be understaffed in certain weeks and overstaffed in others. So we're trying to spread it out. So if there's a particular week you want, I urge you to get registered up as early as you can. At least start the process, so that puts you in the queue for that week.
I had a question about that. When I go into register in Black Pug, it looks like I have to put down the $100 deposit for my registration to stay saved. Is that correct? And so therefore, when I'm thinking about registering my troop, would it be helpful to just get one name in there to get that $100 deposit in? Or should I try to get as many deposits as I can in to get that process started?
I'm not sure. Do Adam or
And maybe anyone else who's already done it, were you able to save a registration without putting down that $100 deposit? Like for me, I think I went through and then when I didn't put in the deposit, it said it wasn't saved. I was just curious what the other people did.
Yeah, I had to put down $100 deposit for ours to get it
Was
in.
it only for one person or did you put in additional names and then just one deposit?
I just put down one name for now to register it. So I just used my own kid because I knew I'd be
Okay.
paying anyway. But we're getting names from scouts now so I can register the rest of them.
Okay.
Ellen,
Is
looking in the
it
system
helpful?
right now, I do see your in progress registration for week 4.
Yep. So is
So,
that helpful for you guys for me to do that?
what I think when you put the deposit down, it locks your position in for that week. Right now, it's just a draft in progress registration,
Yep.
but I don't know exactly how it locks in for the weeks if you pay or not.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Can I ask along with that same, do you need numbers? Because if I'm remembering correctly, when you go in, you have to register each scout and each leader. So there's not a way to say we assume or estimating that we're going to have 20 scouts and, 4 adults. Is there a way to do that to give you guys an estimated number?
You should be able to just put in like blank people in the registration, and you don't have to fill out information for it until you add the scout's name, and you can add or delete those blank people as you go, from my understanding of the system.
I was able to do that last year. We were able to add like a bunch of kids and then remove them as we needed to. So we estimated like, I don't know, 25 kids and we ended up with 24. So we were able to remove a kid, but you do have to put that one deposit down is what we found.
Yeah, and you can make additions and subtractions throughout the whole process. So, so whatever you need to do, as you find out the information and it gets more specific, just add it to your registration.
As for campsites, there's not a specific campsite deposit. When you register for camp, you can put your top 3 choices for sites. They are a request. We do our best to fit the troop to the site that they requested, but ultimately we want to make sure that we fit the camp as best as possible. We don't want a small troop taking up a site that could hold multiple troops or one big troop, and that's usually done by the camp head commissioner.
My question is more that we used to have to keep $100 deposit on account to hold our registration for the coming years. Those monies have never been returned. So that means there's $100 from my unit sitting at the council, which used to be holding our spot in the week. And that money has never been returned to us. So that still sits there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's right, John, but we can check on that. I think those were all credited at one point, but we'll check on that and make sure that one of us is correct anyway. And
if they credited it, they didn't tell us.
Yeah, it might have just been done, but I'll check on it. We'll find out the answer to that.
Yeah, because that could be that $100 that lady was just talking about. Is that $100 could be used to hold the site by if it's available someplace.
Yeah, I think the way we used to do that, and it was quite a while ago, we haven't done that for a number of years now, but I think all of those deposits were credited back to the unit account at the council level. But let me check on it, John, because I'm not sure. That was my understanding, but I've been wrong once or twice before too. So
thank you, Phil.
It's a good question.
Looking. I'm not seeing much else for other questions. Anyone else with anything that they need to for the good of the cause? You can definitely scroll up. Thank you for all your questions. You can definitely scroll up and grab my email, Adam's email, and those others that were there. If you have any other specific questions moving forward. And for all of you who wished me well on the council Facebook website, thank you very much. I'm very excited to be working with all of you this summer.
Well, thanks everyone. I hope everybody has a good holiday season, and we'll be back next month. And I want to assure you that our staff is working diligently to get everything ready for an exciting summer at GSR and Camp Carpenter. So, and we're gonna put Andy to work here real hard. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna work him hard.
I've thrown all my casual reading books aside and I am cramming like for like a college final like I haven't in decades. So it's but it's all fun. So it'll be a good time. So thank you all, and I guess January 19th, I think, is what it says in the calendar.
Good night, everyone.
Is
Thank
there
you. Good
any
night.
word on the photos from last year that were taken at camp?
That is a good question.
I'm
I
being
wasn't a
asked
part.
by multiple families, so I just
Yeah,
want to give an
I
update.
wasn't a part of that whole thing last year, but I can see. What week did you come?
8,
8, and what troop were you?
701.
Okay.
Thank you.